guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm Justin Davis from Drone Camps RC. This video is a little bit overdue. I've been having a lot of fun flying micro FPV for quite some time now, and I have quite a bit of stuff here to show you and go over with you. If you're new to micro FPV, this is going to be a great video for you because we're not going to give you the full history of it and bore you with the whole progression of FPV to the micro scale, but I wanted to show you a few different examples of FPV, how it's changed over the past few years, and to where we are now with the Inductrix Fpv from Horizon Hobby. So we're also going to talk about some Tiny Whoop and some other clones that are available, and we're going to talk about the B-Brain as well. We're also going to take you over to a MultiGP Tiny Whoop race. Those are starting to get super popular. We're doing those indoors in bars and restaurants and around town. So that's getting almost more popular than the outdoor racing. So let's start out with one of the original micro, we won't say micro, we'll say mini FPV Racer. So this is around 210 size. This is pretty much a standard outdoor racer. You wouldn't want to try to fly this inside because you would maybe possibly kill the cat or the dog. So outdoor racer. And then we move over to something like, I wanted to give you an example of sort of a DIY kit. This is something that we have to build ourselves, put all the ESCs on there, PDB, and the flight controller, and you do a lot of soldering, and you also do a lot of work on the computer in clean flight, beta flight, or race flight. So there's a lot of work to be done on this one before this one's actually ready to fly. Now the nice thing about micros is with the Inductrix FPV, you don't have to do any of that. You don't have to do any building. You just have to charge up your battery, bind it to your transmitter, and go fly. So that makes it really accessible to just about anyone. That's what makes indoor flying and the Tiny Whoop MultiGP races so popular. A few weeks ago we had a race here in town, and the original race we had starting out for Northwest FPV had, I'd probably say about 20 people there at the max, and we had probably maybe 7 or 8 pilots. The last race we had, which we're going to take you to, we had an upwards of 30 plus people at the bar, and it was starting to fill up and get really tight in the bar. So now we're going to have to find a bigger space, I believe. So I want to say a good shout out to Micah there from Northwest FPV for organizing those events. If you're in the Pacific Northwest, be sure to check them out. You can sign up on their Facebook page, and you can sign up a MultiGP and come race with us. So some of the other examples I have sitting here, the Inductrix 200. This is the larger size copter available from Horizon Hobby, and this is a rack and heli frame on here, which is super nice. Racken makes a lot of really nice stuff to upgrade some of your blade products. They also have a frame available for Tiny Whoop or the Inductrix FPV, and we're going to do a build video on that. We'll do some flight tests with that a little later once we do a full review of this one for you. So what do you get in the box? This is $99, ready to fly, and it comes with a few different modes on here. It does have sort of an acro mode, but it's not really something you're going to want to try because it's a little difficult, the stock acro mode for this. Now it does also have stabilized mode, which most people are going to fly with in the bars and at home and in restaurants and at your little events. So this is the bind and fly version. There's 2 different versions available, by the way. There's an RTF version, which has it's around $199 with a little controller that comes along with it and a little FPV screen. So if you don't have goggles, you don't have to worry about it. You can go ahead and join the races. So that's kind of nice. Let's go ahead and pull this out of the box for you. There's some manuals in here, which you definitely should check out. Also, it shows you how to bind it to your transmitter. If you're new to this and you've never done that before, Spektrum is pretty easy to bind up. It's not hard. You just turn on the copter first, and then you're going to hold the bind button, the trainer button on the DX8 here, and wait till this stops flashing. So when it goes full solid, it's good to go. So it has a plastic frame on it, sort of ducted fan style propellers on there, and it runs off of a E-Flight, comes with a battery as well, an E-flite 200 milliamp, and that's a 1S 3.6 volt or 3.7 volt. You have a USB charger here that will plug into the side of your laptop. Also, if you want to, I don't have it sitting here on the bench, but take a little portable USB charger battery with you, and you can plug this into your charger battery when you're at the bar or around the house. So it makes it a little more convenient if you leave the house and you don't have your computer sitting by. So a lot of us are taking those portable batteries with USB ports on them to the races. Very convenient. Now E-flights, that battery is going to give you, they say that that one's given some of the best flight times, around a little over 2 minutes. Not very long. So I'd like to see more flight time in these, but we're experimenting with different types of batteries. I'll show a few sometime in this video that you can purchase, or I'll show some links down below for different batteries. Now this one comes with the standard Horizon Hobby flight controller on here, and you, like I said, you can get that other one. It's called B-Brain. I'll show that here. And then what's nice about the B-Brain, if you're flying with a Tyrannus, it already has an FR Sky receiver on the B-Brain, so you can link up your FR Sky receiver to your Tyrannus, which is really nice. For the guys that already have a Spektrum radio, this is great because you can just bind this one right up to it. So if you already have a Spektrum, go ahead and grab this one, and if you have FR Sky or Tyrannus already set up, go ahead and get yourself a tiny Woot. Get that B-Brain on there, because the B-Brain actually hooks up to Betaflight or Clean Flight, and you can change up some of the settings, and you can do acro and tuning inside Betaflight or Clean Flight. Now the biggest difference between this one and the tiny Woots is the fact that this one is a little heavier, and guys who are flying tiny Woot, they're using this FX, this is a 798T camera. I'll show you that really close up, see if it'll focus. And I'll put a link to one of these below. And this is the one that they're using. It's just a little better antenna than this one that's on the tiny Woot. You can see it's sort of a dipole antenna. It's a little better for crashing than something like this, but this is going to give you a little better reception and a little further range out of your tiny Woot. So if you're going upstairs or downstairs to your basement and flying this around the house, you're going to get a little better range and reception. You can change channels with this one as well. It has a button here. Now this one changes channels on the very top. There's a little button right here. So people are complaining that when they hit the ceiling, it would change channels, or if you have a crash, all of a sudden you're on a different channel. So my recommendation might be to just remove this top off the top of the Inductrix Fpv. You can take some micro screwdrivers. There's 3 screws here, and you can pop this top. So that's about enough tech talk right now about the Inductrix Fpv and the tiny Woots. They are getting super popular right now. All of my friends have one, or they're in the process of building a tiny Woot and putting one together with B-Brain. So for guys that don't want to build or put something together or have to source parts, Inductrix Fpv is the way to go. $99, and you're at the races and flying with everybody else. So very easy to get a hold of and start flying, and even in your house. So you can have a lot of fun right inside your house, make your own little gates with LED lights and all that stuff. Get really creative with it and have a lot of fun. So without further ado, let's go ahead and take you over to the MultiGP race and show you how much fun people are having with their Inductrix and tiny Woots. Hey guys, Justin Davis here from Drone Camps. I'm headed over to Moloko Bar right now. We're going to do some tiny Woot Inductrix racing indoors. Little MultiGP chapter in town here in Portland, and it's supposed to rain really hard today and blow 50 to 60 miles an hour. So this is going to be perfect for doing a little FPV today. So I'm going to head over to the bar and check it out.
This race is sponsored by Tiny Woot, tinywoot.com. if you are one of the top pilots, please come to the booth and I will write down your address and he will mail you a prize. Next pilot, please power them up.
So we're gonna do a quick raffle. We're gonna give away a free drone to somebody in the crowd out there.
Just go ahead. All right. It says, okay. Jackie. Oh, man. Am I messing that up?
All right.